Hi guys, my name is Erica George, and if this is your first time coming to Fashion Voice, I want to say a very big welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your continuous encouragement. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the cutting process of the Basic Bodice block. It's a very beginner friendly video, so if this is one of your interests, please continue watching because it's very insightful. And once again, please watch to the end. Thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Firstly, I'm going to start off by measuring the breadth of my pattern paper, which we know it to be 36, and I'm looking for a length of 38, so I'm going to be adding 2 extra inch with my masking tape and my pattern paper. Then secondly, I'm going to measure the length of my pattern paper. I'm going to add my half length, which is 16. I'm going to measure 16 inches down and I'll mark it. I'll do that line straight along the length of my paper. After that, I'm going to proceed to rule a straight line connecting the half length line. Then I proceed to cut. Remember that earlier on in the video, I explained that the total breadth of a pattern paper is 36 inches and we need a total of 38 inches. So now I'm going to be using my masking tape to add this paper at the end of it, just to increase the breadth to the required 38 inches. Then I'm also going to be adding an extra 4 inches allowance. I'll call that the seam allowance and the zip allowance, which we're going to explain later on in the video. Next, I'm going to proceed to fold the breadth of the paper into 2 equal parts. We can see the 2 parts. Then next, I'm going to fold it into 2 again, but this time not 2 equal parts. I'm going to be leaving 1 inch as the zip allowance, and I'm going to indicate that. Now I'll proceed to impute my basic shoulder measurement. I will call it the 3 by 8 method. You measure 3 inches, then you add 5 inches, making it 8 inches. So I'm going to mark it on my pattern paper. Then on the 8 inches point, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches down. That will serve as my shoulder slant. Let me proceed to label it. I'll call it slant. Now after this, I'm going to calculate my armhole circumference. Now to get the armhole circumference, you're going to say your bust circumference divided by 5, which will give you 7.6. And I'm going to impute that measurement on my basic block down from the 1.5 inches I initially measured. So I'm going to rule a straight line. Now note, I measured 8 inches at the shoulder point, which is 3 plus 5. That's the 3 by 8, the standard. So I'm going to bring down that 8 at the new armhole line. Then I'll measure half of my armhole. I'm going to mark it, which is about 3.8. And I will do my armhole curve. You have to do it gently if you're using freehand, or you can make use of your armhole curve. Is one of the tools for pattern making, but I'm just using my free hand. I hope you can see what I did here. Let's proceed. Now we're going to measure the bust point, the half length of the basic bodice block. We're going to do a vertical measurement. So you can see I'm marking my bust point about 10.5 inches. Then I'll proceed to mark my half length, which is 16 inches. Next, I'll rule the horizontal line and label them. After that, I'll proceed to impute my bust circumference and my waist circumference measurement. On my bust point, I'll do my bust, which is 38, divided by 4. I will impute the measurement, but I won't be adding any sewing allowance because it's a pattern. On my waist, which is 28, I'll get 7, that's 28 divided by 4. Then I'm going to add a 1 inch allowance, which will be called the dart allowance, just to give the fitting at the waist side. Observe. Now I'll proceed to connect the lines. Observe that the lines are not straight and they're not slanted, they're a bit curved. Irrespective of how yours turn out, just draw your lines like that. I'm connecting the line to the armhole, to the bust point, to the waistline. Observe. To get the dart of a person, you're going to say the waist circumference divided by 8. 28 divided by 8 is going to give me 3.5. So I'm going to mark it now from the center point. Then I'm going to come about 1 inch from the bust line and also mark my 3.5. I'm going to rule my straight line, then mark 1/2 inch on both sides. Then connect my lines to the line that is just 1 inch below the bust line. I hope we understand. This will serve as the dart of this basic bodice. After that, we proceed to cut out all our excesses. I'm going to notch the dart points, yes, so that I can be able to trace it at the back bodice of this basic bodice block. I will also indicate the bust point line on the zip allowance so that to enable me know the length of my dart on my basic bodice. After that, I'll connect my lines and create the back dart. Now we're done with that. I'm going to separate it so that we can see our zip allowance and also fold it so that we know how we're going to place it while cutting our basic bodice block on our fabric. And this is what our basic bodice block looks like. You can transfer this onto your fabric and you're good to go. Bonus tip: when you are done with your pattern, ensure you check your dart by folding the dart in and check if you got your perfect waist measurement. That's for the pattern. For this pattern, we were supposed to get 7, so I'm going to measure it, and if I get 7, I know that my pattern is perfect. Let's see. And we got 7, so we know that our pattern is up to date and is perfect. So go ahead and transfer it to your fabric. And thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.